What if I told you that LeBron didn't play particularly well, especially when it mattered most? You're like, well, he made the pass to Dennis Schroeder. I thought what was funny was Dennis Schroeder hits a three, and it was a clutch three, right? Game is tied after, I don't know what the Timberwolves were doing offensively. Granted, Timberwolves without 3 of their top 8 players. Naz Reid out because of a wrist injury. Jaden McDaniels out because he punched a wall, picking up his second foul. And Rudy Gobert out because he punched a teammate on the sideline of one of their games. So, but I don't know what the Wolves were doing. Anybody want to tell me what happened to the Ant-Man? He went in the tank last night. Young player, looked like a young player, not ready for the playoffs. But I also think it's hilarious, the ice in the veins celebration that Dennis Schroeder had. Then LeBron backed it up, right? That was kind of cool, simultaneous. And when there's 1.7 seconds left, you're like, oh, that game is over, only to throw the ball into Mike Conley, who Anthony Davis stupidly fouls, shooting a corner three, and he fouls him like boxing out. I don't know if you guys understand how time and score works, but if there's 1.7 seconds left to go and a guy shoots a corner three and you're running at him, you don't have to box him out. He can't get a rebound after shooting the basketball with 1 second to go, be behind the three-point line and shoot it again and make it. Like, you just run by without getting anywhere near him. Anyway, Mike Conley making 3 free throws to force the game to overtime. That's more ice water in your veins than shooting a wide open three in a tie game, isn't it? But the part that we're going to miss, because we're in this space as sports fans where political TV has crept into sports television. Now, look, you got the generalism of what the TNT guys do. Like, you go back and Barkley and Shaq and Kenny and Ernie, they're so good and so entertaining. You know, before the game, Barkley's got them winning and got him a chance to win a championship. Halftime of a game, Barkley's like, I don't know, the Lakers aren't doing anything. They're not going anywhere for anything. And then by the end of the game, it's they found a way to win, and what's your level of buy-in, and who do you blame? But I thought it's hysterical. But there isn't any real talk of, guys, LeBron was bad down the stretch. And you're like, wait a second, you just said he had the big pass for the assist. He hit a big three. Well, he did, but he also had a couple of the worst turnovers I've ever seen a star player had. He had an Isaiah Thomas, who, by the way, Isaiah Thomas continues to show his ass on TV and radio. Did you guys see that deal earlier today? Yeah, he was on a sports morning radio show that's broadcast on TV, and because the picture used as his avatar was a fairly serious looking one where he had a suit and a tie on, back probably from his days as a coach of the New York Knicks, he told them to take the photo down, then hung up on him, only to have them call back and change the picture. Dude, I can't wait to tell more Isaiah Thomas stories as he continues to show his backside to everyone on a daily basis. But Isaiah Thomas, up until last night, and maybe still, has the worst inbounds pass in the history of the NBA, right? They were going to beat the Celtics in Boston Garden, and he takes the ball in bounds and quick triggers it and throws it in. Only have Bird steals the ball. Bird passes to DJ. DJ lays it in. Right? That really happened. Last night, LeBron doesn't meet the ball in regulation, and it should have been 2 fouls. The Wolves had a breakaway layup. And then in overtime, he takes the ball in bounds and turns it over yet again, only to have the Wolves miss an open three in the corner. Which, by the way, was Taurean Prince, who both didn't get the layup up on the first steal when LeBron didn't meet the basketball, and then missed the corner three when LeBron turned the basketball over. But the guy who doesn't know basketball sits there and goes, oh, LeBron was awesome. Yeah, here's the thing. They were getting blown out, and they came back in the third quarter and early fourth quarter with LeBron out of the game. He was a minus 14 for the game. Minus 14. Anthony Davis a plus 9. Austin Reeves wasn't great. He was a 0. D'Angelo Russell didn't hardly play down the stretch. He was awful, but only a -2. Dennis Schroeder was a +22. Rui Hachimura was a +20. And Troy Brown Jr. was a +10. In other words, the Lakers were 14 points worse than the Timberwolves when LeBron James was on the floor. And he was on the floor for the entire overtime where they outscored the Wolves by 6 points. Now, this isn't a defining moment of his career. I want to make sure that's important. Like, LeBron not being great last night and, frankly, hurting the Lakers as much or more than he helped the Lakers does not take away anything from previously in his career. But don't get it twisted. Like, LeBron James, not close to the same dude. Not close. Remember, they got back into playoff contention with LeBron James injured. The problem, though, is we look at the 30 points and one made 3 in the fourth quarter and the kick out and you're like, oh, LeBron was awesome. No, he wasn't. And the Timberwolves, who were down 3 of their top 7. 3 of their top 7. With a little help from the guys in the stripes, gave away a gigantic 15-point lead and couldn't do anything down the stretch, and the Lakers find a way to win a game in overtime. That's the reality of what happened. So we got a lot to get to there. This was LeBron and Anthony Davis. They had this to say in their post-game interview about Anthony Davis's foul on Mike Conley Jr.
I've been playing a game like that since I was a kid. I drew the defense, trust your teammates, and he knocked it down. It's unfortunate that AD had a brain fart and messed his game winner up.
He hears you.
I messed his game winner up. I apologize. I definitely apologize.
Yeah, I mean, look, what happened was LeBron didn't switch, and then they were supposed to switch, and yes, Anthony Davis was late and fouled him. Here's LeBron talking about the upcoming matchup with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Really good team, very well coached, very well balanced. Obviously, the head of snake is John Morant, but another all-star in Jaren Jackson, who's up there, one of the defensive player of the year. His ability to block shots, but offensively, he's very dynamic as well. Tyus Jones, the point guard off the bench, has led the league in the assist-to-turnover ratio like the last 6 years. So he complements them very well. Desmond Bane, I think in his third year, second or third year, but he plays like a veteran. His ability to shoot the ball from the three-point line is also his ability to, attack an early transition. Dylan Brooks, you can't disrespect him because he makes shots. And Xavier Tillman has been playing good basketball. Obviously, he's been well coached all the way from college days, with Coach Izzo, to now, and so on and so on. I mean, they got Luke Kennard, who broke my scoring record in high school. He passed me in high school, and there's a reason why, because he's a laser from the three-point line. His ability to shoot the ball, is uncanny. And they got so many other guys also off the bench that you can't disrespect, because they will make you pay. Obviously, I haven't thought about Memphis one minute.
But no, it is. I mean, look, the entire scouting report's impressive. Here's Dylan Brooks yesterday.
I don't really dislike nobody. I just bring a competitive edge. But I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. The legacy's there. First time back in the playoffs, knock them out right away in the first round. But it'll test us good, They got good pieces, good players, and that'll be a good first-round matchup for us.
I thought LeBron, and the reason LeBron didn't play well down the stretch is not because he's a bad basketball player. It's because he's 39 years old, right? Dude, he was exhausted. And while you're trying to cover for it with load management, these games are played at such a much higher level than the regular season. And in all honesty, what you really wanted if you're the Grizzlies was for them to lose and then have to play another game and be tired. But they were already exhausted. That was a tired basketball team. LeBron James doesn't just turn the ball over. He doesn't just the guys don't just have brain farts like that at that level that often, unless they're completely exhausted. And are they exhausted because they don't have a bench? A little bit, but they're really exhausted because, LeBron's older. And they were better without him on the floor. And he did come through in 2 big situations, but in other big situations, he screwed up. If you thought that was an MVP caliber performance because you looked down at the stats, you missed the game. In many ways, the Lakers were better without LeBron James on the floor.